Let me just make sure that my stream has started, and we'll start in 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes, no, we'll start in 5 minutes. Let me just confirm whether the stream is actually going stable and people are able to view it. Anyways, no one views my streams, but anyways, yeah, so I'll just make sure of that and then we are going to start. So I'm streaming after, I don't know, 3 4 months. Yeah, the last time I streamed was after the break, the break after the board exams. Yep. Let me just check whether it's. Uh, Wait a minute. How do I check? Yeah, I'll go for my channel and yep, we are live. Hopefully, let me see. Well, my internet connection is very slow, so let me for my channel and yeah. So I won't share the link to anyone, like one, two people, if they want to watch. Otherwise, I just do it for, you know, my own time pass and it helps me, you know, at least do something rather than do nothing. Yeah. So let's, without any further ado, let me introduce myself to everybody. I am Vishal Kumar Jha, and today what we are going to do is we are going to see some Python programs, focusing more on the pattern programs on how to print the stars. And in this, I am trying to derive a logic that you can do it with one loop also, like the easiest of the pyramid programs or the diamond shaped programs, they can be done using one loop also. There's no requirement for using nested loop, but there will be some complex programs. There are some complex program where you see there is a diamond pattern is there, but in the middle there are gaps. So how do we approach such programs? So we are going to see that, and after that, if we have time, we'll look through questions, different variety of questions, and different problems, and try to solve them. And I'm no expert. I'm also just a learner, just like you guys. And this small programs, they are really not my thing. This, you know, print this, do this. Like it's easier for me to work on big data sets and train machine learning models rather than solve small problems. I don't know why that's the problem with me. That's because I have very poor logic, probably, yeah, and I have high, what do you say, high attractiveness towards development instead of programming. I love development, but programming is something that is not a thing that I have a proper grip on. So yeah, I think we should rather start. Yeah, probably I'm live even if I'm not. It's fine. We have one current viewer. I have no clue who that is. Whoever that is, welcome to the live stream. And yeah, so what are the programs that we are going to do? So the first program that, let me just use something to uh, make you understand that how things are going to work. So we are, first of all, we are going to deal with the pattern programs. So pattern programs, and more specifically the star program, star, and in Python. Okay, so the first program that we are going to deal with is the simple pyramid program. Not the pyramid program, but like it prints one star, then prints two star, then prints three stars, all in a row. Now there are two ways in which such programs can be done. The first one is that you make two loops, one you make for the rows and one you make for the columns. For the rows, you will have the exterior loop, that how many lines it will go, and for the columns, that is the number of stars, you will have the inner loop. But there is an easier approach where we are going to just use one loop and we are going to use two variables. That would be very easy. So what here to in this program we are going to use only one variable, but in programs where, in like a program like a pyramid program, we have to use two variables. Okay, so when we approach this pyramid program, I'll tell you what the two variables are. But For the first program, we are going to use just one variable and one loop. So that's how easy the first pattern will be. So I'm thinking of using ideally, though I can use either Jupyter Notebook or Visual Studio Code, but I want to keep things very simple. So I'll just use my ideally. Before that, I'll create a folder called stars in my uh, desktop so that it's easy for me to upload it in GitHub or somewhere you guys can see. So we'll open this and we'll save our file here. So we have ideally, and wait, let me close this. We no longer require this. We have we have hi Priyankana, Kafka Dikhao. Yeah, but he is not here sadly. But yeah, if he comes, I'll show you. Yeah, we no longer require this also. So what we are going to do is we are going to open this and we are going to save a new file in the folder we created. So we are going to save. So we'll be writing this as stars one. So as I told you, when we look at that pattern, we have one star. Wait, let me open this. We have one star, then we have two stars, then we have three stars. Say for example, we have to print say 5 stars. Okay. So we'll start with one star, 2 stars, 3 stars. Let's take 4 stars for now. It's very hard to type, I don't have an iPad to draw, so yeah. Anyways, so for this program here, right here, this program, what we are going to do is we'll first use a loop. So the first statement will be, oh, for example, let's assume that in the exam you are given that there is n number of lines, okay, instead of a definite number of lines. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a variable. So n is equals to int input, enter the number of lines, enter the number of lines. Okay, now what we are going to do is for I in range n to n plus 1, 0 to n plus 1. So we have to go from start from 0 and we'll go to n plus 1. Since it's a for loop, we'll go to n plus 1. Okay, so now the simple logic is we'll have a variable called stars that will have the value of a string, that is our asterisk or the star. And what we are going to do is we are going to simply multiply it with I, and we are going to print stars. And when you see the output, say we need 5 lines, so we have the 5 lines and 5 stars. Just using a single loop, instead of using an outer loop and an inner loop, we are going to use it's very easy to just use a simple loop through which we can make a star pattern program. Now the logic behind this is very simple, that we are just say the value of I starts from 0. So first it will print 0, but when it iterates and goes to 1, so it will print 1 star, then it will go again, then it will change to 2, then I value will be 2, so it is going to print 2 into the string. So this is basic Python, using operators like this. It is very easy. Instead of using two loops, there is another way you can use two loops, that for I in range 0 to n plus 1, for j in range, where you define how many stars you want. So that is not required when you can do it in a simpler way. Now another star program can be just reversing this. So we'll reverse this. Can we reverse this here? I don't know. I'm using yeah. So reversing this, not exactly like this. We'll come to this also, but for example, let's me make a new one only. So for example, it goes from say 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star. It goes in this way. Yeah. So when it goes in this way, what are we going to use? So nothing, we are just going to reverse the logic. Now it has to go from n plus 1 to 0, and it will iterate -1 because it will go backwards. So we run this. So number of lines, say we want 5 lines, 1 2 3. Oh, actually here we don't need to use n plus 1, because again the value is 0, so it will go to -1, and that is no nothing will be printed. So instead of n plus 1 while reversing, we'll just use n. But when it is a straight loop, we are going to use n plus 1. So again, a reverse pyramid is printed n plus. Exactly. Now we are going to look at the third program, and the third program will be a pyramid program where most of the students they are stuck. So a pyramid program looks something like it prints 1 stars, then 3 stars, then 4 stars, then again it prints 3 stars, and say 2 stars and 1 stars, 2 star and 1 star. So this is something like a oh no, this is the diamond problem. A pyramid is just still here. Okay, so okay, let's leave the pyramid. Let's just directly go to the diamond problem, because here you will understand the logic of pyramid also. So this part is a pyramid, and again this part is a reverse pyramid. That is clear to you. This is a reverse pyramid and this is the pyramid. So for a pyramid, what we are going to do is, instead of we'll give this 0 to n plus 1 as usual. We'll go for 1 to n plus 1 this time, because there is no requirement to go to 0. So stars, again the logic will remain same, but what is happening here is, you see the number of spaces keeps decreasing. Say here there were 3 space, then 2 space, then 1 space, then no space. So we'll create a variable called space. Now inside this variable, what we are going to do is, we are going to multiply space with n minus I, and we are going to also, sorry, we are going to place print space plus stars. So you say 5. Okay, there is an issue. What is the issue? What is the issue? 1 plus n. Somewhere I messed up. Where did I mess up? This has to be n minus I. Correct. 5 into 4. Yeah. Where is that I messed up? Somewhere or other it's wrong. Yeah, see, there is, see the small things. Now we have to give a space after the star. So now you see a pyramid is printed. So again, here the logic is that the value of n, say we need 5 lines. Okay, so you see in the first line there will be 4 spaces, then there will be 3 spaces, then there will be 2 spaces, then there will be 1 space, and there will be 0 space. So the logic behind this is, we have n and we have to minus I, the value of I. So first the value of n is 5, first the value of I is 1. So 5 minus 1, 4 spaces. Then the value of n remains constant, but the value of I keeps changing since it's inside a loop. So now I becomes 2, so n minus 2 is 2 spaces. I becomes 3, n minus 3 is 1 space. And when I becomes 5, 5 minus 5 is 0, 0 space. That's how you are going to print a pyramid. Okay, so this is the pyramid program. Now what, when we need to print a diamond program, what we are going to do is, we are going to print a pyramid, and then we are going to print a reverse pyramid so that it becomes a diamond. So we are going to copy this same line and we are going to paste it, and instead again we'll go, this time we'll go from 0 to n plus n to 0 to with a minus 1 iteration. So say 5. You see, oh, again here the diamond is printed, it's looking perfectly fine, but sometimes what happen, the invigilator or anyone, I mean yours, whoever is checking it will ask you that why this extra is printed. So we don't want this to be printed, because you see this 5 stars is getting printed twice. So what we are going to do is, we are going to do this as n minus 1. We are going to start from n minus 1. So now it's perfectly fine. You see, so say you are given 10 lines, 10 stars, then you start with a pyramid of 5 and you reverse it. You are given 11, then when you are given 11, you will go by n floor division 2 plus 1. Okay, that's the logic when it's an odd number. But for an even number, it's quite easy to make the diamond if you have the logic of pyramid program. It's just half a pyramid plus reverse pyramid. Yeah, so These are the basic three questions of star patterns that are specifically asked in your exams or wherever you go. But there can be some complex patterns also. There can be a pattern of similar type, for example this type, and instead of you know having stars in between, they will be giving you spaces in between. So I came across this program in my class 11 computer science book, and the logic that is used here is quite annoying, to be very honest. It's very annoying if you go by the logic used in this book. So I found out an alternative logic to how to approach such problems. So we are going to that part where we are going to see that problem, and we are going to find a logic and find a solution to the problem. So our time is not wasted. I already have a screenshot of that question. So here's the screenshot. Let me just copy paste it here. So here I have already marked the rows and columns, okay, so that I don't have to waste time. So it is something like this, and consider the lines to be star, and then there is gaps. Okay, there is gaps. Now one approach can be, again, we divide it into two. We write logic for the stars and we write logic for the uh, spaces. That can be one approach that we did in the diamond, where we divided into two parts. One will be the upper pyramid, and one will be the reverse pyramid. But here, if we go by that, there will be a very annoying logic. So that will be something like rows minus columns into I plus something very annoying. Even so, what we are going to do is, instead of going by that logic, I came across a different logic. So to print this program, we are going to see where the stars are placed at. Okay. So, and here we have to use two loops. There is no way we can do it using a single loop. Okay. So we have to use two loops here, and one will be the loop for the rows, that is number of lines, and one will be the loop for the columns. Okay. So now we are going to see where the stars are placed at. Now, uh, when you look here, so where are the stars? Where are the stars? Okay, one is in front of you, like I am the star, I know, but where are the other stars? So we'll divide this into rows and columns. So you see the first star will go proceed in a way like this. We'll go like this, then we'll go like this, and then we are going to go like this, and then we are going to go like this. Now why we are going like this, you will understand. We can go like one by one also. That will also create the logic if you write everything in one place, but going like this, it is very easy to understand what I am trying to tell. Okay, so look at the first star. It's in row 0 and column 2. The second star is in row 1 and column 1. The third star is in row 2 and column 0. You see these three. What happened to my mouse? Wait a minute. Huh. So you see these three stars, column 2, row 0, column 1, row 1, column 0, row 2. Now what you observe here is 2 plus 0 is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 0 is 2. So when do we want the stars? We want the stars when the column and row, when we add them, it's either 2. So here it's 2. If it's 2, print 1 star. If it's 2, print 1 star. If their addition is 2, print 1 stars. Now let's look at the other set. Now here, see the column. Column is 2. Let's take row wise. Row is 0. Row is 0, column is 2, row is 1, column is 3, row is 2, and column is 4. Now here you see column minus row. 2 minus 0 is 2, 3 minus 1 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 2. So now we know when to print this set of stars. These stars and these stars. Now let's go further down. Now when we go further down, you'll see यहाँ तक till this level our stars printing is done. In the lower level we have row is equal to 3 and column is equals to 1, row is equals to 4 and column is equals to 2, and then we'll look at these stars. Here our row is equals to 3 and column is equals to 3 and our row is equals to 4 and column is equals to 2. Now what you are going to observe here is that when we minus row minus column, here we minus rows from column, here we'll minus columns from row, we'll get 2. Again we'll get wait a minute, something I've written wrong. Let me see what it is. Row 3 and column 1, then we'll have row, or then we don't have anything actually. Wait, till here R is done 2 and 4, and then wait 3 and 2. Yeah, well, that's why I should have written it systematic, but anyways, our row is 3. Still there is something wrong, let me figure it out. We have row 0 and column 2. Fine. No, row 0 and column 2. Something is wrong. Let me rewrite everything. I don't know. Wait. Till here everything is fine, I guess. Row 2. Then we have row 0 and we have column 2. We have row 3 and we have column 1. We have row no, we have row 2 and we have column 3, and then we have row 2 and our column is 4. Let me bring my hyper focus back. Let's start from the beginning. I messed up somewhere. Let's start from the beginning. I'm so sorry to waste your time, but anyways, I'll cut this in the final upload. Yeah, if I upload. Otherwise, I'll make this stream private. Where rows and columns. So, the first stars. So the first star is at row 0 and column 2. The second star is at row 1, column 1. The third star is at row 2 and column 0. And then for all this, we have the sum is equals to 2. Done. Then we have row 0 and column 2, row 1 and column 3. We have row, no, we are not going to take this again. That is the problem. I'm taking that into account. That has already been printed. Yeah, so we have row 1 and column 3. Then we have row 2 and column 4. And here when we subtract this, we do C minus R. That will give us 2. Okay, so now this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. Now we have row 3 and column 1, and we have row 4 and column 2. So now this is done, this is done, and here we did C minus R. Here we will do R minus C, that is equals to 2. Now after that we are left with just one star, so that will be row 3 and column 3, and when we add this we get 6, right? And that is 4 and 2. 6, and we have row 4 and column 2, that is also 6. Their addition is 6. So now this is the complete logic. So we find the positions of the stars in terms of rows and columns. We either plus or minus, but we make sure that there is a pattern that is being formed. Now when we have a certain pattern, we can use conditional statements to print our stars, and between the stars we can use end is equals to space to print our space. Now when the benefit of using this logic is that you don't need to write a certain logic for the spaces. It will automatically generate the space because it is not going to print the stars when the logic is not true. That means it will print something which is empty. So you don't need to write the logic for spaces. But when we go from the other approach, we are going to write the logic for both the spaces and the stars, which makes this problem a very annoying problem. So now we are going to implement this program. So let me open my IDLE. So let me open a new file and we'll do this as stars 3, stars 4, and what we are going to do is, so as discussed earlier, what we are going to do is we are going to create a, instead of using I and shield, let's use rows and column because that's what will make this program little easier for us to understand. Okay, so let's see. So let me just do this half. Yeah, no, this is not going to work. So yeah, anyways, so first we are going to write logic that we need this much rows and this much columns. So we have 5 rows and 5 columns. So for row in range, we can do 0 to 5 or we can do directly 5 when we know the value of range, and for call in range column 5. Okay, now we are going to put our condition that if the first condition we have is, see, the first condition we have is if row plus column is equals to 2, or if the second condition is column minus row is equals to 2. The third condition that we are going to put is, or if row minus column, that is row minus column is equals to 2, and the last condition is if column plus row, that, or column plus row is equals to 2. What we are going to do, we are going to print a star. Okay, we are going to print a star, and we are going to so that the control remains there only, we are going to use the end variable. Now what if it is not there? We went through a line and there is no stars to be printed. Then what we are going to do, we are not going to iterate to the next, go to the next line. We want the control in the same line so that the spaces are printed. You see here, you need to understand this. Okay, so say for example, where is the eraser? Yeah, the image only went. Wait, let me drag and drop it again. So when you look at this, uh, say this is printed. Okay, now we don't want it to skip. Let's not talk about this one because here if it is skips, say here this is printed. We don't want it to skip to the next line. We want it to continue until this is printed. So what we are going to do is we are going to uh, do print end is equals to space. So this completes our, now it is not like that it has to sometime after printing the space also it has to go to the next variable, right? You have to go to the next variable. So if you have done any pattern program earlier, you would have noticed that we give a print statement in the last also so that it moves to the next variable, next line, otherwise it will stay in the same line. Okay, so to complete this program, what we are going to do is we are going to print empty so that it moves to the next line, and then we are going to run this program. So when we run this program, the stars are printed. Wait a minute, one star is missing. Wait, Why is one star missing? Why is one star missing? We missed one logic, I guess. I don't know why. Yeah, we missed one logic. Let's see what is wrong. So we are missing this star. So what was the logic for the star? This is row 3 and column 3. This should have come. What was the logic for the star? Row 4 and column 2. No, column 2 and row 4. So this row minus column. This should have printed. What did we miss? What did we miss? I'm missing something, but I don't know what. Yeah, you need to practice this program. Even I have not practiced this thoroughly. I just came across this logic in another program, 123 program, and I tried applying it here, and once it worked, and after that I started the stream only. Wait, where did we miss? We are using row plus column is equals to 2, column minus row is equals to 2, row minus column is equals to 2. Oh, column minus row. Yeah, this one, see, this is 6, not 2. Yeah, that is why it is not coming. And yeah, see, now you have the hollow diamond without using any complex uh, 3 4 loops. People use 3 loops sometimes, so that's how easily you can do it. So now we did it for say 5 rows. Say if it's 7 rows, you just change this values. You try to experiment this loop on your own, and it will be very easy for you to do all the loops. So majorly these are the 4 important loops, and we have covered all the 4 important loops. So the first loop we covered is 1, then 1 2. Wait, the first loop